Are we rolling?
We're rolling, man. We're back in action.
We're back in action. Welcome to the Fantasy Wise Guys. We are here. We're your hosts, Mike Meals.
Joey Puma.
How you doing, Pooms?
I'm good. We had a little break, but we're here now, and it's cold out, man.
It is.
I don't even know how I'm wearing short sleeves right now. I just wanted to show everyone my guns, but it is really cold, and it's hit the northeast.
Yeah.
Really, really bad.
I think it's good, and that's what worries me too. For some of these games now that you have to worry about in the Northeast, how is the weather going to affect quarterbacks, defenses?
Oh yeah.
Kickers.
Absolutely. I think that a lot of times games in this atmosphere result in running the ball and playing defense. So we have a couple of those games coming up for you, and I think that a lot of times with those games come low scoring, so we have to watch out for that.
The low scoring, and it's funny. I was telling, I don't know if it was Justin, maybe it was Pat the other day. Oh yeah, I was telling you, Justin. I was basically saying, can you imagine how freezing it was outside? And I'm like, just picture yourself just getting tackled by somebody, face mask to your arm, you just fall on the ground. These guys are taking hits. They're out there in the freezing cold, getting fucking leveled every other play.
At least they're getting paid, right? A nice $20 million might feel a little bit better, right?
I mean, it just
makes me feel a little bit warmer.
Of course, but I'm sure they'd feel fine. And these guys are machines. Last night too, you saw a lot of that play, even though it was in a dome.
I feel like, not to cut you off, feel like we should all get domes in the NFL.
Oh.
Dude, think about the scoring. Think about the scoring. And the teams that stink have to go play like an ice bowl.
It would make wonders for fantasy.
Oh, yeah. But a lot of fantasy players last night, as you allude to, they did really well. Your boy, Jahmyr Gibbs, back Gibbs.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. And before we get into it, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We need to get more views on here. Our Instagram's been doing great. We got to, you have to make sure you keep up with it.
Yeah, pump up on the YouTube, that's for sure.
Share it. Let your friends see.
Tell your mother.
Actually, I know probably some people don't want to share it because they don't want to let people in.
I think that's what it is, because I used to think like that too when I was younger, and I would watch certain podcasts, and I'm like, why would I want to share with Myke? Now he's going to know everything I know.
Dude.
But then when you get to a certain point in life, you want you want a challenge, right? You don't want it to always be you're ruling the kingdom. So I feel like you share it with some friends, have some fun with it. And also, too, you could pick whose opinion that you like more.
Yeah.
I think that's it, the banter between us going back and forth. And pick a side, any side.
That seems to be the more popular thing now, too. People are asking, start-sit questions.
Yes, I got a couple of those, too.
Oh, my God.
I got a couple. I always get them in the gym. People feel, more comfortable to come up to me, during a workout rather than, training someone.
You're just like, what?
Oh, by the way, Brenton Strange, Jake Ferguson.
Dude. Ferguson. Well, anyway, let's get back into that then. So the Thursday night recap. Lions played Lions and Cowboys.
Correct.
They played in Detroit.
Yes.
Lions came out on top, 44-30. It was. I feel like they got involved. There was a couple people that didn't, but for the most part, fantasy-wise, everyone got involved.
Yeah, I would think that what leaves a sour taste in your mouth is Slim Pickens, right? George Pickens, Boy George.
Pickens, yeah.
Boy George didn't come up big, and Richard Sherman had a lot to say after the game about it. And I totally agree with him. I mean, you're in a contract year. You just had CeeDee Lamb go out with a concussion. This is your time to shine, and he did not come up big. I mean, I get it if guys don't have talent, but it's another thing when you look like you're not trying. And he might be that good where he looks that smooth all the time, but from the outside looking in, it looks like you're just lollygagging.
That was what the consensus was. They were saying that there was plays that he looked like he wasn't.
He just took off.
You weren't giving more effort.
Dude, he's jogging for the ball, and they're in a 2-minute drill. You know what I mean? That's why Ryan Flanoy, ends up scoring and going off, and he was probably on 90% of people's benches. But unless you had him in a FanDuel bet any time, I mean, what did Ryan Flanoy do for anyone? Nothing.
Yeah, out of everybody on the Cowboys receiving room, any eligible receiver basically under this metric, he had the lowest average. Everybody else, Ferguson averaged 11.6 yards a catch, Flanoy 12.8, 13 for Turpin, 7.4 for Pickens.
Yeah, that's disgusting. I mean, listen, your team is fighting for a playoff chance. They had that game. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, the Lions were putting pressure on him. I totally get it. Aiden Hutchinson was coming after him. Gibbs was having one of those highlight reel games. But you were still in this game, right? And I think that offensive line has to be blamed a little bit. But also, too, like, you're giving zero effort. You know, and you have one of your top 2 players get out and is hurt. You got to pick up the slack. You know, you're in a contract year. You want to get paid, right? You want to.
Yep.
And there's always a reason for everything, and this just leads to one of the many reasons why Pittsburgh got rid of him.
Well, and just, you know, for those who don't know, George Pickens had 5 catches, 37 yards on 9 targets. On 5 of 9, it's a little surprising. Dak wasn't that inaccurate. You saw a lot of those plays. They were catchable targets. And some, you know, it happens. I think for now you have to write off this game if you have Pickens.
Yeah, you have to.
You got to start him every week, no matter what. Especially considering his cohort, CeeDee Lamb, who left the game, did leave his fantasy managers though with a nice something before his departure. You know, a nice little, and then a nice little 18
yards.
points. Yeah, 18 points, and then he just vanished into the darkness. So 6 receptions, 121 yards. But if you saw the game, he landed on his head weird in the end zone. You saw his hands after that?
Yeah.
He was kind of like, you know, they were all
like
crippled looking. Yeah, that kind of
he looked like a Stranger Things episode.
He had them dinosaur hands like this, you know?
But you know what? Like, if he would have caught that ball, that would have been a great catch.
Oh, unbelievable.
That would have been sick.
And I love how he's putting that effort in. Like, he's throwing his body on the line. Now, granted, he's probably he might miss it. It's 10 days he's got, though. It's not
That's
Sunday
the good
to
thing.
Sunday.
That's the only good thing. The injury took place 10 days. The next time they get on the field again, it's going to be next Sunday.
Yep.
So I wouldn't be too nervous if I'm a CeeDee Lamb manager going into the playoffs. But if you're fighting for a playoff spot, yeah, I mean, he did leave probably another 10 points out there. But again, you can't help injuries. You just got to hope he comes back and you just put him right back in your lineup.
But exactly, CeeDee Lamb and Pickens need to remain in your lineup.
Yeah.
Javonte Williams, you were talking about him?
Yeah, my boy.
He needs to remain in your lineup as well.
Dude, if he's not one of the best draft picks of the year, I don't know what is. Of course, there was like sneaky picks here and there, but for the most value, if we're talking about a guy that you picked after the 6th round, it's Javonte Williams all day. And you thought this was going to be right in my bench. You know, maybe I'll cut him by week 4. He's an RB2 for you, Mike.
Yeah. On this very show right here, I told you that there's no way I'm touching Javonte Williams.
And I was all over it.
And you said, I need the guy who's going to get the volume. I want the volume. And honestly, I liked the volume. I didn't believe in the talent. But surely he looks like he's right back in his element. Healthy all year for once.
My man looks like he's back at the Tar Heels again in college.
I'm happy to see it, though.
Yeah,
man.
no, absolutely. And I think also, too, it helps Pickens and Lamb help that, too. You know, like people will say the rush sets up the pass. Well, in Dallas's case, it's like the pass sets up the rush.
Yeah, so you could still start Javonte Williams.
Yes, of course.
Dak Prescott, obviously, you know, you could start him considering each matchup, but for the most part, you could start him. Jake Ferguson, I will say that
he got hosed on a play.
Yeah, bro. Man, he had 10.8 points. But it was an ugly 10.8 because he also had a fumble along with Pickens and Dak. But Ferguson had a fumble, and there was just a couple of bonehead plays he made, penalties, holding, face mask, and then of course the fumbles. You know, I hate seeing that kind of stuff, but hopefully you can get a bounce back.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. Ferguson is in my lineup. Just because of the depletion of that position of tight end. And you never know with Dak, you know, they're a throwing offense. I will say Ferguson did hurt me last week. Was a touchdown away from $1,000.
Oh.
And he didn't get that right foot in.
Oh.
And they took it back. So I'll always, like, think of that with Jake Ferguson. But going forward, you know, in the right matchup, Jake Ferguson, I will play.
Yeah, of course. And then next week, especially if CeeDee Lamb's not there, you play him. But on the other side of the ball, like we said, the man, number 0, or as Puma said, you know, He wishes he would be 26 still. But
I might convert. I'm getting warmed up to the 0 only because
of how good he is?
Yes, of how good he is.
He is unbelievable.
And I was saying to one of my friends last night, I'm like, you know what? He's like Kamara 2.0.
He really,
and you know
he's
what?
A great comparison.
And I hate to say this, I think he could be better.
I think he is going to be better for sure.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of it shows in the receptions. Kamara used to do that a lot, where you know, he would total up like 100 or so receiving yards and have like 40 yards rushing.
Yeah.
But he had the touchdowns on the ground, I believe, all 3 of them, and he was just a stud, man. And Gibbs, I see 2.0 better. It was like kind of like when people would compare like Lamar Jackson to Vic, and I'm like, no, I think Lamar is going to be better.
Yeah, well, another thing we said here, right here on this very show, was Jahmyr Gibbs was going to be running a lot more routes this year because that was the news that was, you know, being told at the time. And sure enough, you saw a perfect example of it last night. He ran he got 7 receptions in total. So what was that? He ran basically half the routes, and he was literally lining up on the outside. He's lining up on the outside. He's lining up in the slot.
Well, the good thing about
separation,
you know what? And I think they've taken a page out of the Christian McCaffrey book, where it's like you're utilizing your running back, and this is why, you know, Dan Campbell is 15-0 after a loss. The Lions do not lose 2 in a row. They just don't, you know, and I feel like they put the ball in their best players' hands. Look at St. Brown playing as well too, right? People thought he'd be a decoy. No, like first play of the game, they're going right to this guy in the flat. Yeah. And same thing with Gibbs, you know, like they're going to utilize him in all different facets, and that offense is humming right now because even David Montgomery got touches.
That one hurt me. And so, yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs to end it off, 37 total points. He had 120 total yards, 3 touchdowns, the 7 receptions on 7 targets. I mean, we said it last. I feel like he's definitely could be the first pick of the draft next year.
Oh, well, that's another conversation I want to have with you. What do you think? 101 next year?
At this point, yeah, I would take Jahmyr Gibbs
over Jonathan Taylor.
No, I'd still go Jahmyr Gibbs because of the age.
Especially for Dynasty, he's like number 1.
You know, the one thing, too, that you see with him compared to Kamara is that he's stronger. He looks just like more physically sound. And I like those guys that are durable, that don't get hurt a lot, knock on wood, like Bijan, you know? These
well, I feel like they both came out of the same draft, right? And I feel like Bijan, it's crazy to say, but I think he could be better.
Yeah,
of course. And if they had better, like an offense that utilized him that way, I think the Tyler Algier blocks Bijan from being the number 1 pick in fantasy.
Well, at the same time, Jahmyr Gibbs has Montgomery blocking him a little bit. I think overall the team is just.
But I feel like Dan Campbell has already initiated that this is our bell cow.
Yeah, at this point.
Right. It's like David Montgomery is more of a spell to spell Gibbs. Tyler Algier is literally the goal line
back. Yeah, he's taking all of it.
You saw with our Jets, they got 1 each.
Even in the 2-minute drills, you see Gibbs is the one on the field. Like
right. He's the workhorse.
Majority of the field, majority of it. But like you said, the spellback, he's coming in just to relieve him.
Give him a
bit.
relief. Yeah.
I was so pissed yesterday because another guy, David Montgomery, who made people a lot of happy, pretty happy. Full PPR, he got 14.6 points. And I know this specifically because I played against him. And I'm like, he has 0.1 points like the whole first half.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he has one freaking 35-yard run for a touchdown. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Just like that, 9.5 points.
But you know what? Like the last 2 weeks, I've noticed they've utilized David Montgomery more since Thanksgiving. Before this, he wasn't really utilized until that Monday night Baltimore game, which was like 2 months ago. Yeah. You know? So I feel like they're really doing the Sonic and Hedgehog thing, and Knuckles, whatever you call it. But I feel like this tandem, especially with Gibbs leading the way, is going to be fierce, especially them heading into the playoffs.
Well, Gibbs you play no matter what, and Montgomery is like
borderline flex. I mean, it's really in a matchup. You know, it's due to matchup. Dallas, there's some people out there that probably played him because Dallas is weak on defense. But going forward, you just really have to be matchup based. If you have other options out there, I would lean that way because you see Gibbs is getting the full share in this offense.
Yeah, true.
unless the Lions put you away quick, and then Montgomery comes in, like we said, to spell him. It's going to be Gibbs all day long.
Amon-Ra, honestly, surprised everybody coming back without even missing a game.
Dude, he's a dog.
4 days nonetheless. Low ankle sprain.
He's a tough SOB.
Tough motherfucker, man. And watching him out there, I'm like, every time he got tackled, I'm like, oh, because he caught 6 passes.
Amon-Ra is one of my favorite receivers in the game.
He's unbelievable. And he's, like you said, he's a tough motherfucker. He's somebody that's
Sun God.
Play every game for you if you're a fantasy manager. Like, that is like a blessing. So 6 reception, 92 yards. I would take the money and run, because just the fact that he scored that much being injured, you're lucky if you started him.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with him, with you, and I would have started him. I mean, I had this question happen to me last night at 7 p.m. where the news broke that St. Brown was happening. I must have had 7 people call me who had Tesla in there.
Oh, yeah, Tesla.
And then I had somebody call me that didn't have St. Brown who has Tesla and is like, should I play him? And I'm like, well, who else you got? And they're like, well, I picked up Michael Wilson 2 weeks ago. I was like, play him.
Are you crazy? Yeah, of course. Tesla, yeah. When Amon-Ra's playing, I would not.
How deep are they, man? They got 2 stud running backs, and you got like 3 legit wide receivers that could, if they were on other teams, probably number 1s and 2s.
With Tesla, man, they traded up to get him.
Yeah.
Rookie receiver, big kid. What is he, like 6'3" or 6'4"?
6'5".
So he's big, yeah. He's a big guy, and even if you managed to start him yesterday, let's say you didn't catch the news, he still scored you 10 points.
Yeah, he got it in the end zone.
I'll take it. But,
absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, Amon-Ra, obviously a clear must start. Jameson Williams, not only a must start, but he's possibly a league winner. And I'll tell you why. Because over the last, I think
he's getting targets.
Over the last 6 weeks right now, he's the wide receiver 9. I don't have it here in front of me, but I saw it earlier. So he's getting tons of targets. Even with Amon-Ra yesterday, 7 receptions, 96 yards, and he looks good. Like, he looks motivated. He's out there on every play.
I think things changed, Mike, when Dan Campbell took over play calling.
Sure.
It was that Commanders game 3 weeks ago, and you could see that I think he was a little bit frustrated with the use of the running back situation and the misuse of Jameson Williams.
Yeah.
And since he's been in there, it's a hell of a lot of Gibbs and more Jameson Williams.
Jameson.
Everyone has been clamoring for Jameson on the rocks. We need him. This guy was, taken right after Garrett Wilson 4 years ago. He was supposed to be a stud. He is a stud. He just needs to be utilized more, and he's trending in the right direction.
And let's not forget, Sam Laporta is not there anymore. Well, he's there, but he's not there, if you know what I mean. He's injured.
Yeah. No, absolutely. He's on the team, but he's hurt. And this is the perfect time to utilize Williams.
That's why I think he's going to get a lot of targets, and he's going to be a possible league winner. Because now the Lions are in this position where they have to basically win out because they're in a tough division. I guess
3-team race.
They're in 3rd right now, so like they need to keep winning.
Yeah, no, I mean the resurgence of the Chicago Bears. I mean, they're going to be playing the Packers in Lambeau, and I give them every chance to win that game. Ben Johnson has, big, you-know-what, and he is not scared, just like Dan Campbell. So I feel like that's going to be a game. That division is going to be crazy. I think all 3 of them make it, but we'll see who takes the division ultimately, which I think it can be a new winner this year.
That was a very exciting game, though. I mean, to see those 2 match up, which is why we probably touched it for so long, because the Cowboys-Lions, there's tons of assets there.
Dude, I had a tree lighting. I wanted to stay home and watch the game over that, just because it was very highly anticipated. And hey, listen, I had my bets in.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. I am. So I will say, from now on, I'm looking for games like that, like we saw yesterday. Like, I want to play people. If I'm heading into the fantasy playoffs, I'm going to play guys that have a possible high ceiling, just because I know, hey, this guy is going to, for example, if I have like a debate of like an Alec Pierce or Who's a good comparison? Alec Pierce or an Adonai Mitchell, maybe.
Okay.
Like if I'm stuck in a rut like that, like I'm gonna go for the guy.
How about
with
like
the
a
bigger
Pierce,
boom.
Jalen Waddle? You know, that's even though he's the number one on the team, I feel like Pierce has ascended so much.
Yes.
For Daniel Jones, I think he's literally his second option to Michael Pittman.
100%.
I think Alec
surpassed Josh Downs at this point.
I think he surpassed Tyler Warren.
Tyler Warren, too, yeah.
You know, like Tyler Warren will get some goal line work, but down the field, Pierce has that explosion to get you like a quick 15 points on a drive.
Yeah. Dude, he's a good player, ultimately. That's why you got to look at your matchups, too. Where are they playing?
Yeah. I'll tell you a story. I'm in a 4 wide receiver league. And
deep.
And Alec Pierce was just sitting on the wire, week 3.
Oh, my God.
And I'm like, I'll just add.
Week 3. Okay,
Yeah,
I understand.
People didn't really, like, he wasn't really until, like, week 5.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I'll just pick him up just to pick him up. What if Downs gets hurt? What if someone gets...
Yeah.
And, dude, he just ascended over them while everyone's healthy.
You know, we've seen these moments of greatness from Alec Pierce. Like, last year you saw he had a lot of that potential, too, but they were targeting Downs a lot more. And now this year it looks like he just...
Well, when he was drafted, I was like, I saw a little bit of comp of Cooper Kupp. Little bit. Not because he's white, but I'm just saying, like, route running.
Definitely because he's white.
Just the route running ability and the explosion. Listen, if he had even a better quarterback than Daniel Jones, who knows where could Alec Pierce be? But he had 1 year with Anthony Richardson. His second year, now he's with Daniel Jones. I could see him only go, shoot for the stars.
But that was a big problem, was the fact they had no quarterback. So
right.
Now you see it. But yeah, now let's get into the starts of the week.
Let's do it.
So my start of the week, I thought this was funny. I was saying it earlier. Our starts of the week both contain guys that are very similar in terms of them both coming off an injury recently. And then our streams of the week are both rookies.
Yes.
I like that.
I like that too. I think that was very snazzy of you to catch that.
You want me to go first?
You're going to go first.
All right. So I had to take this one. This is a very important one to me. So the man that I'm going to go with for the start of the week is none other than Mr. Joey B, Joe Burrow, Joe Cool. And I'll tell you why. They are in an absolute must-win matchup against the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen. And as you know, guys like Joe Burrow and Josh Allen, when they play each other, they have bigger games. It's almost like more motivation on the line. You could see it. In the past, Josh Allen might not have done too good, but we're not talking about Josh Allen. We're talking about Joe Burrow. In the 2 games that he's played against them, he scored 2 touchdowns each time. He's got T. Higgins back. He scored 2 touchdowns last week. He looks like he's back in rare form. Joe Burrow, watching him play last week, I guess you could really start to see that he's really just matured. Even though he was injured for so long, the way he was commanding the offense on that field, I just know he's such a competitor and wants to win.
But Myke, they're in Buffalo.
Well, you know, that is what I was going to say, is I feel like a lot of people are skeptical, and they're in a position where they can either start like a Matt Stafford or a Joe Burrow, or they could start a Jordan Love or a Joe Burrow. I'm going to go with the talent on this important week, and I'm going to go with Joe Burrow.
Second start back,
Second start back, I'm not worried at all. I mean, 261 yards last week, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He got sacked only 1 time. Joe Burrow got sacked only 1 time. You know him, he's always getting sacked. He's playing smarter, and he wants to win.
Getting the ball out quick.
And he's got T. Higgins back. I think that this team has really found an edge. And against Buffalo, teams have been shredding them this year. So you can expect to see the same thing. It's the highest over-under of the week, possibly the year. It's 53.5.
Yeah, wow.
I'm playing Joe Burrow.
You know what? That is a great start. I couldn't have said it better myself. Actually, if you want to hear something even really crazy, I just traded both of these players in one transaction for a 1st and a 6th round pick next year.
Wait, you traded who?
Joe Burrow and Bucky Irving for a 1st and a 6th next year.
Oh my God! I mean,
and those are my keepers coming into the summertime. Those were my keepers coming into Labor Day.
Yeah.
In my league. So, in that league, I'm out of it, and now I'm just stockpiling picks.
No,
it's a keeper
smart.
league. So I'm like,
that's good.
So I said to someone, I'm like, these two players, I had them for like, 2 weeks? Because the rest of the season they've been on the IR. Yeah. And I got a first and a sixth for them. So, because they have such high ceilings. And the next guy I'm going to talk about that has a high ceiling with Joe Burrow is Mr. Bucky Irving of the Tampa Bay Bucks. I mean, he's playing New Orleans. Tampa always shellacks New Orleans. This is going to be in Tampa. I mean, Bucky had 17 attempts last week, coming back, his first game back in like 7-8 weeks. He had a touchdown. I believe this guy could be a league winner going down the stretch for you. Not only start him this week, start him the rest of the season, my friends. Atlanta after this, Carolina after this, Miami after this. Do I hear a Super Bowl championship coming for fantasy? Yes.
Possibly.
So if you have Bucky Irving, you play him, and you play him now, because I bet you my firstborn he gets in the end zone.
So I actually have a friend who's in the same predicament where like Bucky Irving had a great breakout game last week. Not breakout, but just show that he's back. A big bounce back game. 16 points. He didn't even play the whole game.
Right.
But so now you're in a predicament where you've already built a roster. You got guys like Devin Neal or Jaylen Warren and stuff. Like, is he startable over a healthy Jaylen Warren right now?
Yes. I believe that
right?
offense is high octane. Obviously, with Baker Mayfield playing through the injury that he had. But, I feel like Pittsburgh's offense with, Arthur Smith, it's downgraded. I mean, you have Metcalf and no other options. And for the running back position, if they get down in a game, they're going to have to throw. And that, even though, Jaylen Warren is in the passing game a little bit, but it's hard for them to come back.
True.
Bucky Irving is more involved in the passing situation.
I think they also have similar floors, but Bucky's ceiling is way higher.
Yeah, Bucky could go out there and get you 49 points.
Yeah, exactly.
He could get you a 50 burger, as we like to call it on the streets.
How about this then? Would you take Bucky this week, or would you take Quinshon Judkins, Tennessee? Cold game, lots of running.
I thought about this, and my thing is, I love both. I think they're both going to score this week.
Likewise.
I lean Bucky Irving only because Judkins is the whole offense in Cleveland. Meaning, like, the offense runs through him. Sometimes they even do a direct snap, and they're going to be keying on Judkins. So, yeah, do I think Judkins could get 2 touchdowns? Absolutely. But Bucky Irving's quarterback is more deadly. Therefore, there's other weapons to spread out the defense, so there's not an 8-man boxes. So I feel like it'll be easier for Bucky to score more fantasy points than Judkins. Like, Judkins could score you 2 touchdowns, and they'll be 2 1-yarders.
Yeah.
Bucky could score you 2 touchdowns, and it'll be 160 yards.
Of course, that's that higher ceiling effect, and that's why
right.
I agree with you. On both those guys, Judkins, Warren, I'm starting Bucky.
Yeah.
You got to go right back to him. He played a full healthy game. He's going to play. They're going to play to win this one. It's a division matchup.
Right.
It's a must-win again. Yeah, I love
with
that.
The threat
I love that start of the week.
With the threat of Emeka Egbuka, I know he's been fading a little bit the past 7 weeks since the injury, but you still have Tez Johnson there. You still have your boy Cade Otton. There's other weapons.
Chris Godwin.
Right, like Cleveland just has Judkins and Fannin, and that's even if Shador could get the ball to him, and he's still a rookie. So that remains to be seen, but like you said, we're going Bucky all the way.
I'm all about it. So now if we're talking streams of the week, again, the difference between starts and streams. Streams, a guy you might play once, every other week. A start of the week is most likely a guy that you're going to start every week, but you have him flex consideration. So our streams now, I'm going to go with my man Luther Burden. Luther Burden, rookie wide receiver from Chicago. Their top wide receiver, Roma Dunze, you already know he's hurt. So now he's not playing this week with a foot injury. So Burden has already had an increasing snap share throughout the season. And over the last couple of weeks, the guy definitely passed the eye test already. We know he's legit. Missouri kid, explosive rookie, and Ben Johnson has been giving him a lot of opportunities. So I think you can expect an expanding role. What do we have here last week now? Looks like now he's 22% targets per route, 22.8% targets per route run. That's not bad. That means that he is getting a lot, 2.2 yards per route run. So every time he's out in the field, he's making something happen. I think that Luther Burden is a guy that might even be a league winner. Let's say Roma Dunze doesn't play a lot. I could see them totally being in this negative game script all the time with the rest of their season, where he might get a lot of plays. But keep in mind, they do have a difficult schedule. So it could work either way. I mean, you see Roma Dunze didn't do much. So I think this is a week, though, where they need to win. Division matchup against Green Bay. Luther Burden is a go. Start him with confidence. If you picked him up from waivers, I know Puma did.
Oh, yeah.
Like 5 people talked to me about it today. Puma, I got on that, and
yeah.
Cardone asked me about it, and my dad.
It was one of those, with Green Bay coming up, it's one of those matchups where, Luther Burden has that Bucky Irving ceiling, but he just doesn't have the notoriety yet. So it's that's why it's such a good stream, and it's a sleeper stream. I'm going to give you guys another sleeper stream, and this guy is 12% owned in Yahoo leagues, ESPN leagues. I'm gonna go and do a audible here. I'm gonna go Devon Valet. The valet car is coming around, and he's picking you up. Hopefully you tip him. But for the New Orleans Saints, I feel like this man can go off this week. Yes, I'm staying in that same game, Tampa Bay, New Orleans. I mean, now with Olave, he does have a little bit of injury. He has been limited practice. I feel like if Olave plays or does not play, Devon Valet has been having a, what would we like to call it, a rapport with Tyler Shook, the rookie quarterback. And I really feel like he could go off. I mean, last game, Myke, this guy, he had 8 targets, 8 receptions, 93 yards, and a score. Now, you're facing a weaker defense with Tampa Bay, right? They're 11th out of 32, which is middle of the pack. I feel like Valet could get a big score on them. But also, I want to add another deep sleeper, another that could be a stream of the week. Outside shot, if you're really pressing for an RB2, Ollie Gordon. Against our New York Jets. 2 Falcon running backs scored last week. The Jets are very vulnerable on the ground. And Ollie Gordon is one of those, when you have it on the 2-yard line and you're 3rd and 2 and they're doing a lot of window dressing, it's time to run it right up the gut. And no Quinnen Williams there, now in Dallas. I feel like Ollie Gordon can get you a sneaky 2 touchdowns.
Backup running backs have been shredding the Jets, man. It's unbelievable.
We got those picks for Quinnen and Sauce, and I love the future for the New York Jets. But right now, it's a defense to target, especially on the ground.
I'm all for it. I'd love to play Ollie Gordon, especially in a pinch if you need somebody to throw in there.
Yeah, listen, man. A lot of people out there are trying to make playoffs. I mean, you probably have a lot of our listeners and people that watch us. They're fighting and they're in 7th or 8th place, and they need a win. And not only do they need a win, they need a big win. They need an FBS win.
Oh, yeah.
So these are just some guys that we have suggestions for. Take a shot at them if you really need to, play someone in a flex or RB2 spot.
Love it. Now, remember, we are coming up to the fantasy playoffs. In this next episode we're going to show you, we're going to give you fantasy tips that are going to help lead you all the way to the fantasy championship. Important things that you need to know and that you need to pay attention to in your league to prepare. So for now, we're going to close this one out. Again, I'm Myke Meals.
Joey Puma.
So be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, Fantasy Wise Guys. And again, keep asking questions, start sits, let us know what you want. Shoot us a DM, and we'll talk to you soon.
Hey, never give up, right?
Never surrender.
Exactly. Master your game.